In this video, I'm going to show you a very simple mobilization technique that I'm going to focus from your head all the way down to your toes. So let's place your hands right on top of your hips to support your shoulders, and first is simply the movement of your neck. So we look up and down and up and down. We'll do 5 times up and 5 times down. Just try not to overdo it and just focus on the movement. Looking up and down and then back to center. Okay, then look right and then to your left. And again, it's a simple neck movement from side to side. And then releasing it back. Okay, now from here, I want you to focus on bending your neck to one side and then the other side. This is the third exercise for your neck. So we do it again, each exercise for about 5 times right side and then the 5 on the left. And then come back in and release. Now for the next one will be the shoulder joint, okay, to mobilize your shoulder joints. I have a basic movement in the shoulders. Start by keeping your fingertips on top of your shoulders and elbows are up at the level of your shoulder. Then you just bring your elbows in towards each other, keeping your head straight, and then you open up and push your chest forward as you try to squeeze your shoulders, right? Try not to raise your shoulders, but just how far your elbows can go back to stretch. And then you bring your elbows in and then press nice and out. And that's very simple movement, moving in and then out. Again, this will be for 5 times. Try to get your elbows close to each other and then open them apart. Right, the breathing is simple. You breathe out on the way front. When you open up your chest, you breathe in. And the last time, you breathe out and then breathe in, open, and then return it back. Okay, now we can add a circle. So just up and around, circle, and then up and then around, 2 and 3, 4. As you circle, you focus on your shoulder blade, the movement of the shoulder blade, and then reverse, 1. Now all this time while you do the shoulder movement, you must keep your abs tight, and if you tighten your buttocks at the same time, you will actually stabilize your body better. So the movement in the shoulders are more precise. Okay? The next one is to raise your elbow and bring them down. So start by bringing them down and beside your rib cage like you squeeze. And then lift your elbows up as if you're bringing your hands between your shoulder blades. And then bringing it down, right? So if I give you a back view, you will be reaching up and it's trying to squeeze your elbows up and then bring them down like this. And then you lift up, bringing your hands towards each other and then bring your elbows down. Just like that for 5 times. Let's do it again. And down. Last time, breathing in. And then breathe out as you bring down and then release. That should warm up your shoulder. Next will be your elbow joint. So keep your hands in the front like this and then palms facing down. Then first turn the palms and bend your elbows like this and then bring them back down. Okay, so you could do it vigorously or just simple. Right, this should feel like you're doing nothing, and for some of you maybe it's a good movement for your elbow and shoulder. And then down. Now we reverse, right? So palm facing up. So when you pull, you bend, then turn the palms up like that. So again, reach. This is simply an elbow movement. Now the next will be for your wrist. So keep your hands straight, bend, and simply bend your wrist nicely and make sure they're evenly bending, and then you stretch. Again, bend and stretch, bend and stretch, bend, stretch. So very good technique for all the tennis player. Up and up and up. Okay, then you can just simply circle both your wrist and then reverse That's again for 5 times in one direction, 5 times in the other direction, and then release. So that's for your arm. The next joint is our spine. So we'll focus on the spine. I'll show you sideways how you do this. Place your hands on your hips and keep your feet about your hip distance or a little bit wider than your hips. This is your starting position. Then you look straight ahead. First thing, you're going to just lean forward and hinge right from your hips, and then bend down at the end. And don't test your flexibility, but just bend down. Then lift the head up, lift your face up, lift your chest up, and then come up. And then push your hips forward, squeeze your buttocks, and then bend backwards as far as you comfortably can go. Then you come back up. And again, just hinge nicely. And once your back is fully straight, as you feel, then you can fold your spine. Look between your knees, or try to look at your tailbone, so that will flex your spine fully. Then first lift your head, lift your chest, and then coming up with your legs strong and straight, and push your hip forward and bend backwards. And we'll do 5 times. So again, hinge. You can always bend your knees at the same time if it's too much strain for your leg. Keep your back straight first, and then flex your whole spine. Look under, look at your tailbone. Then lift the face up, chest up, use the back to come up, and then it's okay if your knees bend at the end, and that's fine. You could just continue bending backwards and up. I think that's my 3, so I'm going to do 2 more, and you can just follow that. Doing it about 5 times, but as you do them slowly, you don't have to do too many, and just focus on lifting and bending back. I'm going to do 1 more time. Bend the knee if you have to. Feel a good stretch. Once you lean forward, then you bend over to look at your tailbone. And lift the face, chest, coming up. And then squeeze your buttocks at the end and keep bending as far as you can. And then come back up. Over time, you'll be able to increase the range of the movement as well. Okay? So that is for your spine. Now we do side bends. So keep your feet together. And for the next one, you could either interlock your fingers over your head or just keep your hands by side like this. I'll start with the hands overhead. See, I interlock my fingers like this. So hands are up, and very simple. I'm going to stretch my spine to the side, pushing the hip and coming back up. And again, we stretch and we come back up. 5 times both sides. And then back to center and up. Make sure your legs are very stiff. The more tight your legs are, the easier bend you will have. Otherwise, everything in the body will move. And nothing wrong with that, but see, your purpose is to stretch your spine. So you want to make sure you squeeze your legs strong. And then again, we're going sideways, up to center, and just again for about 5 times, both sides. And once you're done, you can release. Next will be a twist. So separate the legs again to your hip distance, or a little bit wider would be good, ideal for here. Then take your hands outside like this. And pretty straightforward exercise. You're just going to twist. Again, as I mentioned, you do slowly. Twist until your foot feels like you're twisting completely, looking back. And then you come back to the center. So it's not just your spine, but it starts from the spine, and then every other joint in your body start to twist completely. Come back in. If I went a little bit more further, I would be kind of spinning completely. So that you have to focus on that's okay. So you're going out and keep twisting until you feel the twist in your foot, and then come back up to the center. And again, this has to be slow. Do not do any quick movement. And then come back up. All right, slowly and steadily move as you're creating a large movement. And then you come back to center. Again, we'll do 5 times both sides. And then come back to center. And the other way. and then back to center. So that's about 5. These are the movement for your spine. Next joint is your hip joint. So first, lift your one leg up like this here. Okay, so first is the lateral rotation. So just like you're kicking the ball, but keep the knee at the level of your hip. So go 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can allow it to swing that way too. 6, but make sure your hip is not hiking, means you're not doing this. So keep your hip leveled. So you put your hand there. It gives you a good feedback of how you move your leg, right? You should be able to nicely twist right there and then release. Try the other leg. So this one can be done about 10 times. Maybe 5 is just too less. And now notice that if one of the leg is not going enough, you could pull up a little bit and try to create a little bit of stretch, and then again trying to go up, right? Sometimes you may have less mobility in one of the hip joint and just working on kicking out, right? You could move both ways and then release everything back. Next one will be for your knee joint. So I'm giving you side view here. Pick one leg up, keep it at the level of your hip, and then just extend and then bend. Extend and bend, just like that. If your leg cannot be that high, you could keep it a little bit lower, but then still focus on tightening your kneecap. Now see, you're focusing on balance, and you're also focusing on mobility, also building up some muscle strength, right? So that's again for about 10 times. Let's do the other side as well. And 1, 2, again, you can always keep it a little bit lower. 3, your goal is to straighten your knee fully with your toe pointing up. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, release. Nice. Next will be your ankle joint. To do this, first stretch your one foot forward, then point a toe sharp and flex. Point and flex. That's it. Very simple. So that will be about 5 times. And 5. Let's change. Do the other leg. Do it slowly so you can really learn the movement of the ankle joint, making sure you pull up as well. Next movement is simply a circle. 3, 4, 5. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do the other side as well, like this. 1, up, circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and release. See, there you have it. So simple. It takes less than 10 minutes to actually complete a very basic warm-up to actually get you started for your training or a sports. You could also use it just for like a 10-minute of a warm-up or a quick warm-up or quick exercise program for your daily routine at any time of your day. So that's all for today, and I'll see you in the next video.